The removal of the mechanism is fairly simple. Do keep in mind that this ottoman will open. It's disconnected now, so you kind of have to, try to keep that in position. It makes it easier to remove the mechanism to get to some of the screws if the ottoman is closed. So I'm gonna reposition the motor here so it's closed. And I'm gonna first remove this screw, then the rear one, and there are the same ones over here on this side. The hardest part about this is the location of these screws on the arm side. They are nestled in there pretty tightly, so if you have a tool that is a magnetic, that will help. Okay. And the screw heads on the ones that I just removed were 8mm. Now this bolts are 10mm. We'll go ahead and loosen the backside first, and then I'll show you the other. And these are screwed into T-nuts. And they're quite long. Now I will do the two over on this side. There's those two bolts. And again, space is pretty limited on this side, so you have to be careful not to lose the hardware in there. There's that bolt. Now we will come around to the ottoman. Go ahead and open it up. Then there is a bolt here, a bolt here, and then there's two on this other ottoman board. These are all the same length. And now our mechanism, with the exception of the wiring, is completely loose from the piece of furniture. I can set it over to the side here just a little bit. I'm not going to take all the wiring apart. I showed that in how to replace a motor video. So, but this is how you get a mechanism to separate from the piece of furniture so that you can replace it if needed. Installation of the mechanism is obviously just the reverse, which I will show in a moment. To reinstall a mechanism, simply place the mechanism brackets through the slots in the back of the upholstery chair. try to do your alignment to the original holes. I'm just going to set it there for the moment. Now I will reattach the ottoman boards that we removed previously. Started by hand. Mid-ottoman board is now attached. And now I'm installing the ottoman bolts. You do want to start with the 2 bolts that go into the holes first, and then follow up with installing the bolts that go into the slots. So again, I tightened down the 2 bolts that went through the round hole. Now the 2 that are in the slotted holes can be tightened. Now that those are tightened, we will come over to the mechanism to the chair assembly. I align the holes for the bolts first, and I do both on one side. Which will help me out with my alignment on the side that has less clearance. And I'm having a little bit of a spacing issue here, so I'm going to fold the ottoman in so I have better access to these bolts. Now we'll start the bolts for the other side. Use my flashlight to make sure I can see where the hole goes, or where the bolt will go into the hole. That one is in the hole, and then now I just need to finish this one. Trying to get the hole aligned here. It is just so ever slightly off. There it went. Okay, and then before I fully tighten that down, I'm going to make sure that my screw holes are aligned which they are on this side. And this side needs a little bit of adjustment. So I'm going to go ahead and tighten this side down. And then before I put in or tighten this side, I'm going to make sure I slide this to where I have good alignment with the holes that are already in the wood. I'm aligned now, so I'll tighten these two down. I'll switch back to the 8mm so I can drive the screws. Do this side first, it's the easier. And then the other side. Okay. Now the mechanism is reinstalled into the seat of the furniture, and that is how you remove and reinstall a mechanism.